Welcome and thanks for joining me for Pathfinder Kingmaker. This is Journeys in the Stolen Lands. We finished up here at the Goblin Village and we're going to take our loot back to Tuskdale and sell that stuff, and then we're going to go check the Kingdom Table and probably skip a few days there because we need to get to MOONDAY so we can go meet Kesten at the Shrine of Lamashtu. We do have this lonely mill that popped up. Maybe we ought to check that out on our way back home. Let's do that. It's right here. Might as well see what we've got. Oh, lonely barrow. Multiple things. Okay, well, let's go ahead. Oh, story. While passing the windmill, we saw a curious thing. Goblins were squatting in the shadow of the building, doing what goblins do best, stuffing their faces. They had gutted sacks of flour and were spreading the wealth. Some fried pancakes on an open fire, others threw pieces of dough into a bubbling pot. But they're really being loud. Making some kind of dumplings, yet others just rolled around in the white powder, shoving clumps down their throats. All of them, without exception, were guzzling ale from kegs nearby, spilling it over each other and bellowing songs. When they spotted us, the merry goblins, possibly due to the ale, stood their ground. Instead of fleeing, they started to whistle and wave, inviting us to join their feast. In response, the Baron spat on the ground and moved on. Okay. But sometimes those just end like sort of abruptly. I wish that choice like actually led to something. Okay, so we're back at the capital. We sold a bunch of stuff to the merchant and we sold some things to the storyteller. We've actually got a decent chunk of gold here now sitting in our pocket. I'm gonna see now our kingdom table. We might have a use for some BP, so we might spend some of that gold there if we need to. We need to pay attention to what day it is. I should have looked at that before coming in here. We need to wait until Monday to go meet Kesten at the shrine. It is Fire Day. I'm assuming that's Friday. Okay, so we have Star Day and Sunday, and then it'll be Moon Day. So we could skip a couple days here. I'm just afraid I'll skip past it if I'm not careful. Everybody is still really busy here. Okay, we're gonna skip one day. Alright. Lindsay wants to talk. So let's just go do that. Hello, Your Grace. Feels strange. It's amazing. I can just go and have a chat with an actual Baron. I wanted to talk about Ekun. I'm worried about him lately, although worried might be too strong a word. He is way too gloomy, even more so than usual, if that's possible. Life without a family must be hard for him. But he is not completely alone. He has us. I know he can't replace what he lost, but we must remind him that we are here and he can talk to us. Wonderful. What does this have to do with me? Well, for one, he is your companion. Second, I can't abide him scowling another instant. Lastly, I want to know that when my ally is fighting beside me, they won't break, and Ekun feels too close to it already. Well, you've got a point there. What I'm getting at is that we should hold a merry revelry and use the opportunities to talk to him heart to heart. If we just invite him for a drink, he'll no doubt refuse, so we must organize everything in secret. We'll gather guests, prepare food and drink, bring Ekun, and have so much fun. I'll even bring my loot. What do you say? I don't care about Ekun's inner turmoil, but that's no reason to turn down a good party. Lindsay shakes her head, displeased. I've talked to Alina, the innkeeper, and she's happy to help us. Although, between us, I'm not sure what made her so enthusiastic. Anyway, you should talk to her, and I should go and think what I'm going to play. And one more thing, don't be late. I fear if we don't pull Ekun out of his mood now, it'll be too late. Okay, Feast of Feasts. It is now Star Day. Skip another day here. Look at our stats real quick. Okay, Sunday. Okay, we'll skip one more day. I didn't think about travel time to get down there. Here's Bakken. The Serbic Ring. Thank you. You may go. When this ring's wearer attacks with bombs, they deal additional 1d6 damage. Okay. Well, we've got one person who might potentially use that at some point. Throw that on Jubilast. Okay. It is Moonday. I just hope we can make it down there. Well, it's still Moonday. I wasn't thinking about travel time. I've been carrying these things around. Throw those in our stash. I don't know why I have this unidentified ring in there. Ring of protection +1. We should just be selling that. Okay, the shrine's not super far away, but we've only got half a day. If it's more than like... because it's like almost noon. If it takes more than 12 hours to get there, we'll be in a little trouble. 16 hours. Okay, I'm gonna travel down there and see what happens, and then if we're late, I'm gonna have to reload. Okay, we may end up having to reload and not come to this, but on our way down here, we had a random encounter, or an encounter here with Urkhead. A group of travelers carrying bags, satchels, and sacks full of all manner of goods and chattel are shuffling their feet on the road in front of you. Two tougher-looking men are helping one of their companions stand, a pale youth who is shivering, his face covered in sweat. As you approach, the men turn to you and glare at you. Your Grace. This young fellow, what's wrong with him? Oh, Verdran, you mean, must have eaten something. He was fine, see, then felt sick. Fever and all, and in the morning he began to cough blood. Era's still willing, he'll make it to the border, and we'll find him a healer there. Verdran gives a few deep, muffled coughs, the feverish glint in his bloodshot eyes, the glow in his cheeks, the distant look on his face. You have seen this before. This is what the unfortunate servant looked like moments before a monster erupted from his body. There's nothing you can do for Verdran. His signs are like the others afflicted. Any moment, a monster might tear its way out of him. Keep your distance. Urkhead pales and looks at the others. Listen up. All back, behind the Baron. There he goes. Yeah, got an owlbear to kill. Okay. Sick young man. We did have a container over here. Let's get that. Alright. Talk to these guys again. Urkhead. Urkhead's hands are shaking, and as he turns to face you, his voice raises to a shout. Cursed lands, cursed Baron, it's all your fault. Verdran died because of you. We're all going to die because of you. Okay, well, I have a feeling we're going to be reloading anyway. If not, we'll have to deal with this. Talking back to your Baron is akin to treason. Okay. Well, I don't feel great about that, but once again, Baron Kane shows his evil side. Okay, we made it down here. We passed Moonday, but Kesten is here. We'll go ahead and talk to him. Sorry we're late. Seeing you, Kesten nods. Under his coat, you notice a suit of armor. A sword hangs at his belt. The guard is ready to fight. I'm happy to see you, my Baron. While we were waiting for you, I've had enough time to choose a good place for the ambush. I received your letter, Kesten, and came as soon as I could. Thank you, Your Grace. I've decided you'd like to see this place with your own eyes. Lamashtu Shrine is on the other side of the hill. I suggest we set ambush right here. The visibility is good, so we can watch the cultists unnoticed and choose the right moment to strike. If you wish, you can examine the location. Are we ready for ambush? Kesten shakes his head. Not today. Come back later and we'll get them when they least expect us. Okay. Yeah, so we showed up here late, and now we have to wait a whole week. So I'm going to reload and try to get back down here on the right day. Okay, so unfortunately my last autosave, or the farthest I could go back on the autosaves, was after we'd already skipped time ahead to MOONDAY. So we've got a whole week now to wait. So I think we're just going to skip some more time here since we've got events running. We'll just skip ahead again and get some of these completed, get some new things going, and then we'll head back down there and try to account for travel time this time. All right, we finished up the blank spots. Success. A cartography expedition discovered a mineral spring in the forest. The treasurer is preparing to build a large salt processing factory there. +5 to economy. And now she wants to visit. Okay. Canera. A sure sign of our state's maturity is the long line of entrepreneurs awaiting audience. Each has a project on their minds, and each sincerely believes that the others are rascals and madmen, while their own ideas are magnificent. Congratulations, this is a great moment for your barony. The first petitioner is Lamar Tinch, and he has quite a business proposal for you. The halfling before you looks young, but his sharp eyes, framed by slight wrinkles, gives away the petitioner's considerable age. Lamar nods politely, sweeping the floor with his beret and showing off an emerging bald spot. My respects, Baron. I beg your forgiveness for how boldly I sought our meeting, but I could hardly trust anyone with the fate of my beloved new child, which appeared to me in a waking dream, as I walked your lands. You see, I was traveling through on my way to Brevoy, when to my surprise I discovered a most curious detail. It turns out that many spicy and bitter herbs, which I and my colleagues use in our work, grow wild in these lands. Wineberry, goatweed, gentian. Lamar bends his fingers, enumerating the plants, then waves his hands. Ah, these names probably tell you nothing. But to me, oh, for me this rich list is like a splendid palette, the foundation upon which a true masterpiece might be built. Your Grace, I once imagined settling in Brevoy, but your lands have truly inspired me, and now my greatest dream is to open a shop in this very capital. With a bouquet you can easily gather nearby, I can easily create a new beverage, true ambrosia for any halfling. Only one thing is holding me back, lack of financial resources. I hope that now, upon hearing my request, you and your respected treasurer will not refuse a humble artisan a little assistance. Of course, in exchange for a future percentage. Lamar bows deeply once again. I shall eagerly await your decision. Hey, Canera, what do you think? Sounds dubious, doesn't it? Nevertheless, I do recommend allocating some money to this endeavor. True, it's unwise to get too involved in risky business, but it's even less wise to forego it altogether. Most often, such projects end in nothing. But the success of one can more than outweigh a dozen or even 100 failures. Okay, we lose some BP. We get a halfling brewery building. Why not? I'll take the risk. I shall support Lamar's proposal and invite him to open a shop in our city. A wise decision. If our guest's business fails, our losses will be small. If it succeeds, our profits might range from modest to enormous. But most importantly, people like him will continue to come to court. 100 might have only pebbles in their hands, but the 101st will bring you a diamond. So now we can probably rank her up. I can't spend 2 weeks at the moment. We really want to get to MOONDAY. Unless we just go to the following MOONDAY. That would finish up a lot of things here. Oh, we've got so many things. I have to sort these out. Rank. We've got lots of rank ups to do. Ooh, we're negative BP. I thought we had more than that. Let's fix that. Got a lot of money. Let's just buy 100. Okay, we can't do the trade agreement. Could do this restoration of Bronze Shield Fortress. Gonna need Canera for either of these. Jod. Okay. We actually could put Canera on this. Have to buy some more BP. Let's go ahead and start up this restoration. Okay, then we're just going to keep skipping some time here. I wish we could see in here what day it is. Oath day. So we're back to Thursday. Friday. Saturday. We need to actually start traveling on Sunday. Sunday at noon. By the time we get down there, it'll be morning of Monday. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, we had this encounter on the first time down here, and get to do it again. Okay. Talking back to your Baron is akin to treason. Kane, you really shouldn't be killing your Barony's subjects. Okay, we're at the Shrine of Lamashtu, and it's Monday. Or Moonday, as the case may be.
I do things.
Let's talk to Kesten. Seeing you, Kesten nods. Under his coat, you notice a suit of armor. Sword hangs at his belt. The guard is ready to fight. I'm happy to see you, Baron. While we were waiting for you, I've had enough time to choose a good place for the ambush. I'm ready, Kesten. Let's get those cultists. There they are. Come to me, Lamashtu's children. Today we praise our great mother, who imbued Adela's cub with life. Praise the mother. Glorious day. Lamashtu favors us. She blessed the pack with a new cub, a beautiful female cub, marked by the goddess, sacred. Praise the sacred divine. I've seen the cub. Alright, let's get on with it. Life for life. We need no weaklings. Yeah. So carve her image on my chest. Glory to the mother of monsters. We got it. Kesten's just heading right in there.
Hey! Entertainment!
Leopard, let's start bringing you around. Amaya, inspire. Haste. Already got one of our guards down. Fireball. There. And Kane. Let's see, let's delay you. Get Anna in here. That one's running off. Gonna get away.
Let the attack commence.
Oh. Bruin, about. Actually, haven't used Bane. Move up a little bit. Not gonna hit that one back there.
I don't like you.
Alright, Kane. Right here.
No fear.
Is all this blood mine?
Yes.
Never thought I had that much.
Send Leopard back here after this one? I think so. Keep him busy. Then let's get Thundercall in here. Can't tell. I think that's only hitting enemies. Oh, we damaged the militiaman. Sorry about that. I think it's probably the one that's laying on the ground. Do the controlled fireball. Okay, Kesten, get in there. Oh, jeez. This guy's hit hard.
See your entrails, please.
So does Enna. Wow. Oh. She just took down all three of them.
Forwards!
Oh, I see. This blackness.
Smear them. Ha! You've made your choice.
Get in there, Kane. Yeah. Alright, Kesten's alive. I forget. There's somewhere. What are we waiting for? He'll escape. Okay. I want to make sure we loot stuff, Kesten.
Completed.
So we better get
Counts on me.
Enna healed up too. Okay, what's our journal say here? One priest managed to get away. Get him. Alright. We'll follow through here. Is this where we end up back at the lodge? I feel like maybe it is. Blood-stained piece of manuscript. The triumph over the wicked Lamashtu cultists proved incomplete. Some villain or villainess had slipped away under the cover of darkness and into a narrow gorge among the rocks. Without a second thought, our brave baron, loyal Kesten, and their comrades in arms rushed after the fleeing figure. The figure, clad in black, was barely visible in the dark. The villain had gotten far ahead of us. At the last moment, the baron noticed their prey had turned aside and disappeared behind the rocks. After they decided to take a shortcut to catch the cultists by surprise, the party started climbing up the stone ridge. Ooh, failed. Climbing in the darkness is a difficult task. It's not a joke when you try to catch a stable rock and hear the small stones crumble under your feet. Several times it seemed our heroes were out of luck, but their stubbornness and the thought of the runaway cultists gloating about eluding them gave them strength. Moments later, we were at the top. Well, we failed at the mobility, but succeeded at the reflex. So our heroes found themselves at the top, and just in time, the cultist, barely visible in the darkness, was threading his way through the gorge directly beneath them. It seemed the cultist was so focused on finding his footing he didn't notice his pursuers perched above him. Giving the Baron a chance to strike, what will our heroes do next? Trigger an avalanche. We can try to send someone ahead to cut them off. Alright. We trigger an avalanche over the runaway's head, frightening him. Strength and intimidate. Well, Kane's our man there for that. The boulders rumbling down the slope, the column of dust, and the triumphant cries from above, that would be enough for Lamashtu herself to turn tail. The cultist wasn't any better. He lost his footing and his escape turned into an awkward tumble, causing him to trip and stumble among the rocks. Darkness failed to cover the peculiar way the runaway walked. The robed figure was limping badly, dragging their right leg. Despite that, the cultist vanished in the darkness without a trace. The party followed to the edge of the plateau where the flatlands began. As our brave heroes reached the edge of the plateau, the vastness of the Commlands opened before them, an ocean of high grass as far as the eye could see. A beautiful sight, but finding our quarry in this green sea, it would prove impossible. With our heads down and hopes lost, we descended to where a small streamlet flowed among the stones. And then, there before us, good fortune. In his haste, our villain had run through the high grass, leaving a trail for us to see. The party immediately set off, driven by a single desire to capture the criminal who dared to escape the punishment of the Baron, and had led us on this unwelcome chase. We moved as swiftly as we could, but even the ground seemed to fight us. Rock gave way to mud which grew deeper as we marched on and seemed to grab at our boots. Even the wind began to rise, lashing at our cloaks, and a foul scent filled the air. Sure signs we were heading towards the Gnarl Marches. Soaking wet and exhausted, our heroes came upon a cabin at the edge of a swamp. According to Kesten, it was a hunter's lodge owned by Dumra, a hunter who lived there alone and was known for her great temper and little patience. Yeah, we've been there. It also looked as if it might be a place where the cultist would seek shelter. It was unlikely the runaway would brave the depths of the gnarl marches in the middle of the night. So the Baron pushed open the door and stepped inside, letting a touch of the cool night air in. Okay. The lodge is lit, with only a few candles on the tables and the counter. Shadows lie thick around the room. A number of people are here, all well-dressed. A well-dressed couple at one of the tables. A girl in simple dress dozes near the opposite wall, and at the counter is an untidy dwarf. She's wiping the mugs and glaring at you. From the half-open kitchen door, you hear the clanging of pans upon metal, presumably a stove. Kesten looks around with a heavy gaze. Things have gone from bad to worse. We must find the cultists before they flee, and we have no idea what they look like. The people in the lodge look surprised and concerned. Each seems to recognize you and ask themselves, what is the ruler of these lands doing here at such a late hour, flanked by armed guards? Kesten's hand falls to his weapon. Your Grace, I'm ready to make an arrest, but if you wish to investigate further before making a decision, I'll make sure no one leaves the lodge until you give the order. I'd like to look around and speak with these people. Maybe I'll find something. As you command, Your Grace. No one will leave this house. I'll make sure of that. Kesten looks around the hall once again. My advice, take their room keys. Their personal belongings speak their owner's intent, often more than their masters would like. Okay. Tracks led us to a solitary lodge full of strange and suspicious people. Any one of them could be our runaway. We don't even know if it's a man or a woman. It's hard to tell with all those black robes and hoods. We'll have to sort it out ourselves somehow, or maybe ask Kesten to do it. Throwing out accusations at random will get us nowhere. We need hard evidence. We should probably chat with the locals and then check their rooms. Okay. Olika. A young woman stands before you, wearing plain dress and a hooded cloak. Her belly is swollen, she is pregnant, and her time is near. The woman manages a bow. I've heard other people calling you Baron, Your Grace. It's an honor to be in your presence. I am Olika. What are you doing here? I'm taking what rest I can after a long day on the road, Your Grace. I'm a widow. I've barely had 2 seasons to mourn my husband, and he left me with child. And in difficult times like these. I've got a sister in Gralton, Gods bless her. She's agreed to give me a shelter in her house. So I went there. There was nowhere else to go. Where are you from? From Galt, Your Grace. I'm from a tiny village near the tract. Guess no one here ever heard about this place. You recall the location of Galt and Gralton. As far as you know, stolen lands lay aside from the places Olika had named. Are you planning to stay in Gralton? Olika hesitates. I don't know yet, but if things turn out well, why not? It was a long journey for you. I've little coin, Your Grace, so I have to beg traders on the road to ride in their carts. I spend nights anywhere I have to. This place is at least warm and dry. I'm looking for a cultist of a dark goddess. Can you help me? Seen any cultists of a dark goddess? Cultists? That's horrible, but how can I help you? Have you seen anything suspicious tonight? No, I don't think so. Do you know anyone in this hall? First time I've seen these people is when I'd stepped over the threshold of this lodge. Do you know who came to the lodge last? Olika frowns. I heard a noise from the kitchen. It was like something fell on the floor. And then this grumpy old lady Doomra came out. Okay, I need your room key. Olika hesitates, then takes the key from her cloak and hands it to you without a word. Right. Got Olika's key. But these two. I don't remember who it is here or how this plays out. So I'll just go ahead and proceed as if I didn't know, which I don't. A bearded middle-aged man stands before you. He wears a massive gold chain on his neck. The woman beside him gives a polite smile and a nod as you approach. Greetings, Baron. The man's voice is so low as to rumble. Let me introduce myself. Kebran Tedrim from Restov. He nods to the woman beside him. And this is my wife, Una Tedrim. We've come to your lands to hunt, yet I admit we did not expect to meet you in person. To what do we owe this honor? Tell me about yourself, please. I'm a legalist, Baron. Cabron hooks his thumbs into his embroidered belt. My job is to ensure Restov's laws are upheld. My wife is a keeper of the hearth and my loyal companion in prolonged journeys. Oh, yes, of course. Cabron Tedrum, I've heard about you and your famous legal cases. Cabron Tedrum freezes as if someone put a knife to his throat. Is that so? He tries to smile, but his eyes are fearful. I doubt, Baron, that anything you heard concerned me, my family name is a common one. I've so many relatives, I know not a quarter of them. Well, with a difficult job like yours, it's impossible to get by without some divine support. Whom do you address your prayers to? Why, to Abadar, of course, divine patron of law and lawyers. Cabron looks at you intently. Surely you are aware of Abadar, are you not? You must be. No matter. You recognized me at once. Well, we already kind of said we know him. An odd place to rest for the night. Why, Baron? Una gives a false smile. We adore this charming dwelling. She glances around the dim hall. Her smile remains, but you notice she raises an eyebrow at her surroundings, as if in judgment. A crime has taken place nearby. The one responsible may be hiding in this house. Have you seen anything suspicious? I'm afraid, Your Grace, we won't be able to help you. Have you seen anyone suspicious? We are not accustomed to such company, Baron. Besides, from the Restov legalist's point of view, every person in this room is suspicious. Do you know the hostess of this lodge? No, I don't, and I must say she doesn't look forward to meeting new people either. Do you recall who came to the lodge in the last hour or so? On second thought, this young woman, I didn't notice exactly when she entered the room. He turns to his wife. My dear, perhaps you recall. What was the name our hostess used addressing her? Olika, sweetheart. Cannot recall if I saw her at the start of the evening. Okay. I need your room key. Despite Una's cool expression, you notice a bead of sweat running down her temple. As she spots your glance, her lips tighten. Cabron takes the key from his purse and hands it to you. As you wish, Baron. Okay. Well, I do know it's not Doomra. I mean, we met her here before. We've got 2 room keys. Is there anybody else? Just the 2? I mean, we can talk to Doomra again. Look in the kitchen. Talk to Tasana. The kitchen servant is busy grinding herbs within a mortar. She's wearing a dress soiled with dark stains and her hair is knotted in a bun with a few stray hairs poking free. The woman doesn't appear to notice you as she makes her way to the stove. You notice she's limping badly on her right leg. Before you can speak, she turns, sees you, and freezes. Who are you? Name's Tasana. I cook for Tedrums, nobles from Restov. What will it be? What can you tell me about your masters? Tasana frowns. No quicker road to trouble, talking about masters, that is. She glances at your clothes and sighs. How would you like it if your servants were all a gossip about you? They pay regular, not stingy with their coin. They don't yell much, so I count myself fortunate. I do. Why are they here, you think? None of my business. Might be they have things to do, but I wouldn't know it. I mend, I cook, and I serve where needed. We're looking for a criminal who may have fled this way. Have you seen anyone suspicious? What can be seen here, you say? Ask Dumra. She runs the house. She does. Has anyone come into the kitchen recently? Only Dumra came. No doubt checking to see I'm not palming the silver. As if there's anything worth stealing here, so there's not. The hostess of the lodge doesn't mind you cooking at her kitchen. As if she came here often herself. Filth piled in corners, the floor sandal deep in dirt. Had to work my fingers to bones to clean the kitchen before I could start a proper meal in this cowshed. Okay, what are you cooking? That there's for tomorrow. Tomorrow's midday meal it is. Peek into the stew pot. You take the lid off the pan. Some brew boils inside. It looks strange and smells odd. You lean over, smell the stew, and immediately flinch. The acrid stink of vinegar feels like a punch in the face. Besides, you can smell some strange spice, which would be appropriate in a dessert, but not in the first course for dinner. I need your room key. Room? I don't have a room except here in the kitchen. Bed's a bench. Still warm enough, though. Okay. Well, I'm starting to remember. I think this Tasana lady is someone we should be looking at more closely
My destination.
I've spotted
after we pick up all this stuff. Okay. Let's get back out here. Hold on. All right. Just for the fun of it, let's go check out their rooms. Not sure whose is whose. Okay, this is the Tedrum's room. There are no hunting bows, arrows, snares, or any other sign of the Tedrums having any hunting in their mind.
The deed is done.
Got a cloak and some gold. The sheets are crumpled. The blanket is thrown aside. It seems someone was sleeping in this bed not long ago. The bags contain Tedrum's clothes and personal belongings.
I have managed.
Without a doubt.
something here.
Pile of dirty clothes covers some snares. There are a few hunting bows and quivers with arrows. Is this probably Dumra's room? We'll just take your gold there. Papers from Dumra's chest. I will leave your papers and your dagger. The sheets on this bed look dirty. The old bed cover is sewed together from the number of patches. We probably should actually talk to Dumra. Didn't do that this time. Receipts, shopping lists, and other papers pile over Dumra's table.
There are many roads to
I do not
success.
believe this is possible.
This is another...
The deed is done.
Not one of the... Oh, this is Olika's bed. Okay.
Done.
I don't know why we didn't use the key. Maya had to unlock it. The mattress covers blood-stained cloth and bandages. The table holds a pile of letters crossed with a ribbon. These are the letters from Olika's deceased husband. It seems they corresponded often. And the chest contains modest clothing, some packed leftover food, a purse with herbs, and other personal belongings.
The deed is done.
Some padded armor there. Padded armor +2. I don't think we're probably gonna want that on anybody. Yeah. Okay, one more room up here.
I have managed. This task is beyond me.
Okay. Alright, back downstairs. We should talk to Dumra. Okay, Dumra. I'm looking for someone. Can you help me? Dumra gives you a sullen glance. It seems she's not too happy to talk with you, but she doesn't dare refuse it openly. Do you know who your guests are? Why should I? Dumra tilts her head, her eyes appraising you. I'm not their ward. They come, they pay for a bed, they keep quiet. Why would I care who they are? A cultist of Lamashtu is hiding in your lodge. I have to find them. Dumra stares at you for a moment, then utters a hoarse chuckle. One of Lamashtu's own. That's quite a story you've spun, your grace. Next, you'll tell me I'm holding Rovagug down in the cellar. And what's your proof that I hide cultists? There are footprints leading to your lodge. So what? Folk come to this lodge every day, both from the flatlands and the swamps. Your lodge is the only house in the neighborhood. And is it a bad thing to provide shelter for those who's lost? Several hours' walk from your lodge is the Shrine of Lamashtu. Barren enough. Here in the Stolen Lands, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting some goblin's nest or cursed ruins or a shrine of something foul. I don't like your tone, Dumra. Really. The dwarf frowns, her eyes narrowing. And how would you react if a mob barged into your home and started troubling you and your guests? If you were expecting me to bow and scrape before you, then you are mistaken. Do you remember when they came to your lodge, at least? Doomer closes her eyes, trying to recall. I went to check on my traps. Some people arrived when I was away, so I can't tell you for sure, Your Grace. Okay. How many people are there in the lodge now, except for you? Watch yourself. There are 3 of them all sitting over there. Doomer nods toward her guests. That one in the kitchen, guessing she's the servant to these 2 noble folk. They look to be carrying all the coin. I already kind of examined your room. Okay. Alright. Summarize what we know. Doomer is grumpy. Tasana is not a good cook, and she's limping. Yeah. And then Una and Tedrum, both just kind of shady. And then Olika seems perfectly normal, but how'd she get here? Basically, we have no clue. I think the most obvious culprit is Dasana back here. So Kesten, there is someone who seemed especially suspicious to me. Dasana, the Tedrum's maid. Kesten raises his brow. You think so? He thinks for a moment, then nods. As you wish, my baron. I'll bring her. I think, Tasana, you know why I've brought you here. The kitchen servant casts a wary look at Kesten, then you. I would. How? Do you jest, my lord? She gives a half smile as if uncertain. How could I know what you are thinking? Kesten shakes his head. Enough. We know who you are. Lamashtu won't help you. Tasana is silent for a moment, then straightens like a serpent, her eyes cold with contempt. Is that so? Her accent has vanished, the demeanor of a peasant shed like a cloak. Then you know little of our faith, indeed. The Great Mother is with me. Prepare yourself for her.
He's adjourned.
Okay. Inspire and haste. See, Bruin. Let's do a prayer. We can debuff her a little bit with that. Anna, get in there. Leopard. Kane.
So it comes to this.
Magic missiles there, Alora. Got our 1 militia man left. Ooh, she's just... Oh, that was on Kane. Okay. Alvar.
I'll split you in half.
Alright. Stop, I surrender. The priestess of Lamashtu holds her hands over her bleeding wounds, moaning in pain. She raises the hem of her skirt and starts to wipe away the blood from her legs. Her right leg is covered with sores, oozing pus and yellow ichor. You and your minions unleashed a blight across my lands. Because of you, monsters overrun the barony and honest people fear to leave their homes. The priestess of Lamashtu shakes her head and tries to close her wounds, moaning, That's nonsense. I've heard the stories about what's happening in your barony, human, but I have nothing to do with this. The Great Mother rules the monsters of this world, but if you had truly earned her wrath, your lands would be drowning in blood. No, Baron, you must look elsewhere to place blame. Lamashtu and her followers have nothing to do with your troubles. Tell me who you are, quick now. I am the priestess of the cult of Lamashtu, the Great Mother, the ancestress of monsters. The priestess struggles to raise her chin, her voice a hiss. I'm not from these lands. I came because of the pleas of your people, who seek the mercy of my goddess. I came to these lands in secret and hid my identity from everyone except for those initiated in the mysteries of the Great Mother. Even the hostess of this lodge had no idea who I was, and those looking for divine benefaction found me on their own, and there are more than the followers of Aristil would believe. Tell me about the cult of Lamashtu. We are numerous, and we are strong. The tribe of Lamashtu followers grows every day, breeds, and spreads over the lands of Galarian in search for places to create new packs. What kind of rituals were you performing at the shrine? We prayed to Lamashtu. We asked for new offspring in the pack. We mated like wild animals, free of stupid prejudices. I'll spare you the details, human. Those like you are unable to accept the greatness of our ancient faith. Well, the more I hear about Lamashtu, the more I favor this goddess. What else can you share with me? The priestess chuckles. Of course, Baron. Let us sit here like friends and have a heart-to-heart. Where are the rest of Lamashtu cultists hiding? The woman's face turns to stone. You cannot make me betray the children of Great Mother. Torture me if you like. Lamashtu will grant me the strength to endure any pain you inflict upon me. Have you allied with goblins and other creatures in the area? No, we have the same mistress, but our paths to faith are different. I held no illusions you could grasp the wisdom of my goddess. All these people in the lodge, are they here because of you? The priestess shakes her head. They were searching for the blessing of Lamashtu. Other gods have denied them, and they had to ask Mother of Monsters for her benefaction. The couple from Restov, did they come to meet you? Yes, several years ago, the lawyer defended a necromancer in a court in his native city, and he won the trial. Since then, all Tedrim's attempts to conceive a child were doomed to fail. Pharasma didn't want to prolong the bloodline of a man who protected those who raised the dead. Una has more brains than her spineless mate, so she'd sought the support of Lamashtu. The child, of course, will bear the mark of goddess, but Tedrims don't have much choice, for Asma's memory is long. What's the story of Merchant's widow? Olika. She's a poor girl clinging to the unborn life in her womb. The seed of her husband was too weak. Olika's child is doomed to perish before coming to this world. Is the lodge hostess involved in all this? The priestess of Lamashtu looks at Dumra in disgust. This thoughtless thing? No, she was not smart enough to see what was transpiring under her nose. I won't offend the name of Lamashtu by calling our hostess one of her tribe. Enough. Kesten, I have an order for you. Your Grace. Okay, we can let them all go. Nothing against Lamashtu and her flock. Let her go. Lawful good. Banish her. Lawful neutral. Send the people home. Execute priestess. Lawful evil. Arrest everyone except the lodge hostess. And when they're executed by morning. So in my other playthrough, I can't remember, we either banished her or executed her. I think just kind of for something different. I don't think Kane has anything against Lamashtu and her flock. Let her go. Kesten looks at you as if you're mad. Let them go, all of them? But he hesitates for a moment, then seems to remember his place and nods calmly. As you command, Your Grace. Tisana blinks and sweeps her eyes over you as if just noticing your presence. Well then, it seems I shall serve the Great Mother in these lands a little longer. If you wish to speak or ask for something, come to the Shrine of Lamashtu. That is where you'll find me. Kesten throws a tired look over the lodge and rubs his chin. That's all. He looks around the lodge. We'll deal with these people as you've ordered. I suppose it'll be a relief to Dumra to get rid of such troubling guests. I thank you, Your Grace, for your help and for your wisdom. A pity we didn't discover the true reason behind the blight, but at least we have one less mystery on our hands. Have a safe journey, my Baron. Okay. Oh, somebody leveled up. Alright. Let's level up Kane real quick. I mean, Bruin. Okay, we got Bruin leveled up. We finally hit Cleric level 8, so we got this Guarded Hearth, which I'm really interested to see how it works. We can create a ward that protects the specified area as a full round action. All friendly creatures in the area receive a sacred bonus equal to your wisdom modifier on all saving throws and attack rolls while inside the warded area. The ward lasts for 1 hour per level in the class that gave you access to this domain. You can use this ability once per day. So this sounds pretty nice. We can only use it once, but that's a pretty big bonus, it seems, for saving throws and attack rolls for anyone inside the area. So I'm looking forward to trying that out. And then Grabbed clustered shots. I'm not sure if this is going to be something we have to turn on or if it's like a passive thing. But when you strike, use a full attack to make multiple ranged weapon attacks against the same opponent. Total the damage from all hits before applying that opponent's damage reduction. Maybe that can give him a little bit more damage from his bow. Okay. So, we scouted the whole barony. We visited goblins, dispersed the cult of Lamashtu, and even participated in a real vivisection. Time for everyone to meet and discuss what we've learned about the source of the disease. So next time we're going to head back to Testdale and see if we can sort things out and figure out where we need to go from there. Thanks for being here and watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again next time here in the Stolen Lands. Bye-bye.